Hey guys, welcome back. This is By the Book, and we are your married relationship coaches. Today is another one of those days that I don't know what we're talking about. So I don't have anything else to say. I'm going to let my husband ask the question or bring up the topic or whatever it is, and we're going to ride with it.
Today, my surprise topic for my wife is where should you meet your potential mate, your potential husband, wife, or whatever. And I'm going to go kind of specific. Is church a good place to meet your potential spouse? And so I want to throw that question out there. This is the first time my wife has heard the question, so I'm dying to hear what she thinks about this. Is church a good place to meet your prospective wife or husband?
So my cop-out answer is yes and no. And
Kidding me? Okay, let me hear it. Come on, talk to me.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Both you and I are spiritual people, right? And I think that if we did not share that in common for either of us, it would have been a deal breaker for the other. And so if you are a spiritual person, whatever it is that you practice, and your place of worship is a place that you might meet single people, that's a good idea, because for many people who are very well rooted in their faith, that's a deal breaker situation for them. They don't want to be with someone who doesn't have the same belief system as them. Mm-hmm. Why? Because people hold, the afterlife in very high regard. People hold child rearing in very high regard. And so if you're meeting someone who you're thinking, I want to raise children with this person, it's kind of important that you don't have a fundamental disconnect at that spiritual level. So for that reason, I say yes. Church is a good place to meet your potential mate. But I think any place could be a good place to meet your potential mate, so long as you lead into that relationship with your wants and you're not afraid to express them. I think it's very important in the early parts of dating to be very vocal about what your expectations are. I think we as women, especially in today's climate where there's more available men than women and men have become the prize and this and that, we are afraid to set out our standards because we're afraid to get rejected off the bat. But we have to get past that and say, look, this is what I want, whatever it is. I would like to be married. I'm looking for a family. I'm not going to deal with somebody who's going to do X, Y, and Z. It's important for me that you're a Christian. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to tolerate this. I would like this. You have to be very specific. And if that runs that man off, so be it. So in that regard, I don't care if they're at church or a grocery store or a gas station or a school, wherever they are. If you're purposeful in your selection process, then it doesn't really matter where you meet them. You could meet them at the gas station and still tell them, hey, look, I'm a practicing Christian. Mm-hmm. And if you're not, I don't have the time for you. Move along and find somebody who's more suited for yourself. What I think you might be getting at is something that I hear a lot from people, which is that, some people in church, they the worst type. They, this and that. I think you may have been hinting at that, because I'm sure you, like I, hear that more often than I wish I did.
Yeah. I hear that, there's demons in the church, just mm-hmm. like there's demons at the grocery store. And so the church should be a safe place to find your potential wife or husband, but unfortunately, in reality, it just doesn't stack up to be that way, And so I hear now. I used to hear where people would say, I am looking for my husband or my wife in the church. Now I'm more or less hearing people say, I want a God-fearing person, mm-hmm. and so if I find that God-fearing person in church, they should be in church, but maybe they won't, maybe they're not, you know?
Yeah.
But if I find that God-fearing person at the grocery store, so be it, you know? And so it's unfortunate that it's kind of shaped up to be that way, but this particular climate that we're in our society, but you know, the church is just sometimes it's not a safe place, and everybody that goes to church is not there for God. You know, some people are not there to enhance their character and to live a holy lifestyle. You know, and I think most people know that. And so,
do you feel like men or women are bearing the brunt of that situation? I have my opinion.
Of course, I think women will probably go, you know, into that situation like, okay, I do want a man in the church, and so I'm going to try to find a man in church, and then find that when they date this man or these men, that they are just as devilish as the people on the outside of the church.
Yeah, I think that men can manipulate that situation. It's a place where you can routinely go and meet people. And I think any place where men find themselves in that setting, they can very well take advantage of the hopeful woman.
Yeah.
Because there's probably more women in church than men. And so it's kind of, you know, just a subsection of society in general. There's more available men than women, and here is some place where you can routinely see these women. It's not like you're meeting them by chance at a grocery store or at a gas station. You're seeing the same ladies come in time and again and making your selection on which one or ones you want to conquer.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a setup if you're not very purposeful in your dating. I hope, though, that women who are in the church have the resolve to be patient with dating, as opposed to saying, ooh, this is a man in church, he must be a good man, let me jump into this situation with my eyes shut. That's a horrible idea for anybody that you ever meet. So, and I also think that even though these are women in church, no judgment here, but we as a society are still jumping into bed a little bit too soon, or a lot too soon. And men in the church are really not different from men out on the street. If you're going to give it to them, they're going to take it. So,
I think a really good question would be, I mean, on the other side of women saying, I want a God-fearing man, I want a man who's living a holy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then you know, I mean, are you really living a holy lifestyle? Are you about it, so to speak? And I think that would be a really good measure. And I like what you told me earlier. You didn't, when my wife told me that when she was dating, you know, before she was, you know, she met me and all that, you know, that when she was dating, she didn't go by what a person said. She go by what they did, you know. And so how about this? No matter what this man or that woman tells you, you know, they could be putting their best foot forward and they could be saying all the right things, but what are they doing? And so you'll know if he or she is really about God and they really are trying to live a holy lifestyle. Oh yeah, you'll know that really easy. Or you'll know if they're backsliding or trying to put something, or you know, in front of your face to shield you or hide something else. You will know it. You'll know it. Just use your spirit of discernment, as they would say.
But that means you got to be living that holy life yourself, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, it tosses all of that out of the window.
Yeah.
You know, if you want this God-fearing man, this spiritually practicing man, and you're ready to jump in bed on date number 2, what are you doing?
Yes. Don't do it. Don't do
it. You're trying to rush something, get the cart way before the horse, and then turn it back on him and be like, well, I thought you were a God-fearing man.
I promise you.
You didn't give him a God-fearing woman. You gave him a woman in the sheets.
Very true.
So.
Very true. I promise you. If you want him, don't do it. I mean, yeah. Don't do it. That's all I can say on this video. So that's about our time on this one.
Did I answer the question?
Like you said, yes and no.
I never give definitive answers, guys.
But I like your answer though, and hopefully this helps some men and women out there that think, hey, the church is safe, or maybe some people that's more skeptical than normal be like, oh, you can't find no man in church, you can't find no woman in church. I think you can, but again, you have to use that spirit of discernment and see what they're doing, not necessarily what they're saying.
That's about it for that one, guys. Let us know what you think. If you met your man in the church and this is a good man, or you met Satan in church, let us know. Like, share, subscribe, comment, please. We would love to hear from you. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.